Dateline, Washington, Tuesday, 20 May. Well, I guess if you came here tonight hoping to hear this reporter throw down on dull, unexceptional, narcissistic, disingenuous, intellectually stunted, self-obsessed, impossibly annoying female members of Congress, then I think you're in luck. Because Nancy Mace was in the news this week too. And if Nancy Mace is in the news, there is approximately a 117% likelihood that she is talking about herself, and a corresponding 94% likelihood that it is something sex-related she's talking about. And our girl Nancy checked both of those boxes this week because is Congress just the same thing as OnlyFans now? Is that where we are? And have I mentioned lately how much the all-consuming gynocentrism of our present-day political discourse really warms the cockles of my heart? How all political messaging is crafted to have maximal appeal to female emotions and female predilections? How every question in every news interview is framed in terms of feelings and emotions? Now, I am not here to say that women's suffrage was a disastrous mistake, but back to the Nancy Mace story. So, earlier this week, because Congress and OnlyFans are the same thing now, Nancy Mace announced on Twitter, as you do, that the following day, during an honest-to-God U.S. congressional hearing, she, Nancy Mace, was going to show her nudes to the whole wide world. Because apparently that's what being a conservative woman looks like now. Telling people they should tune in so they can see your lady bits. Very classy, very dignified, and it has to be said, it seems like rather strangely exhibitionist behavior for a woman who defines herself as a survivor of sexual violence. Now, if there's only two things you know about Nancy Mace, you know she was the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, and you know that she once got R-worded, because those are always literally the first two things that she volunteers about herself. Seriously, go and try to find a Nancy Mace interview where both of those things are not mentioned in the first 5 minutes. I bet you can't do it. Spoiler alert, because it doesn't exist. So, what piece of legislation is it that's being debated that caused Nancy Mace to exclaim, "Ooh, wouldn't this be a great chance to show my nudie pics in committee?" Well, it's a bill that seeks to make revenge porn into a federal crime. Does revenge porn need to be a federal crime? Is that the sort of thing that our legislators ought to be spending their time legislating on? No, it does not, and it is not. But don't tell that to Nancy Mace, who was obviously very excited to be able to show her naked ass cheeks to America's children and her conservative Republican constituents in South Carolina. Now, could Nancy Mace have just as easily made whatever point she was attempting to make about being a revenge porn victim, whatever point that might have been, without blowing a nude picture of herself up to the size of a freaking movie poster and placing it on a stand in the committee room in full view of the TV camera? Yes, it seems like she probably could have done that. But she still wasn't done yet, believe it or not, because after first teasing the display of the nude photo and then actually displaying the nude photo, later that evening she tweets out the nude photo along with a very lengthy diatribe about what a bad, terrible guy her former fiancé is for making her, Nancy Mace, the victim of revenge porn. Now at this point, mightn't a reasonable person say, don't your claims of victimization ring a little bit hollow when you were showing these same so-called revenge porn pictures to a much wider audience than ever would have seen them otherwise? And mightn't that same reasonable person also ask, wait, shouldn't the moral of this story be that you shouldn't let anybody take a photograph of you that you don't want on the freaking internet? Well, yes, a reasonable person certainly could pose both of those queries. But it seems in the end that Nancy Mace just wanted to hurl abuse at her ex-boyfriend while showing off her nudie pics, and her job as an elected member of the House of Representatives furnish her with a lovely opportunity to do just that, and in the process to leave no further doubt that she is a ridiculous, unserious person who should not be representing anybody, anywhere. Are we sending our best to Washington, ladies and gentlemen? Well, you fucking tell me.